Hi everyone. Today we're going to be learning the comparison of numbers. I'm doing this two different ways. As you can see, I'm doing this two different ways. One way is encircling the smallest number, and one way is encircling the greatest number. So, without further ado, let's get started. So, let's get started with this squares. Let's do this square first. And what it wants us to do is it wants us to let me just move this over here. It wants us to find the smallest number in this row, this row, in the first row, in the first five numbers. One, two, three, four, five. In the first five numbers, and that's what it wants us to do for each row. So let's look at this. So we have 3, 19, 30, and 10, and 6. Well, we know that 3 is going to be smaller than 19, so it's not going to be 19, and we know that's not going to be 19, and we know it's 3 is smaller than 30, because 30 is actually a lot bigger than 3. And we know that 10 is bigger than 3, and we know that 6 is bigger than 3. So we know the answer is going to be 3. We know the answer to the question. Let me do that in a different color. We know the answer is going to be 3. And let's straight up just get into the next one. No more distractions. We should be focused. And our next one is the next set of numbers in our next second row. First row, second row, third row, fourth row, fifth row. So for our set of numbers in the second row, we need to find, just like our first one, we need to find the smallest number. We need to encircle the smallest number. So let's count. 58. We know that that's pretty big. So we know that the 58 is bigger than 40, definitely, and it's bigger than 8, and it's bigger than 4, and it's bigger than 12. 58 is the biggest number, but that's not what it wants. It wants the smallest numbers. It wants the smallest numbers. So we know that 58 is bigger than everything in the row, so it's not going to be 58. It's not going to be 58. It's not going to be 58. Not going to be 58. And we know that it's not so our next option is 40. And we know that 40 is bigger than 8. So if you find a number that's bigger than at least one number in this row, that means it's not going to be the smallest number. So we know it's not going to be 40 because already one number is bigger than that 40, which resembles that 40 not being the smallest number. I mean, one number is smaller than that 40, which resembles that 40 not being the smallest number. Because we have a number that's smaller than 40, so it's not the smallest number. And let's do 8. We're gonna test 8 this time. We're gonna test 8 now. Let's test 8. Okay, so we know that 4 is smaller than 8, so it's not going to 8 is not going to be the answer. So let's cross that out because we already found a number that's bigger than that number 8. So we know that's that, and the next number is 4. So let's test this out. 4 is smaller than 12. 4 is smaller than 8. 4 is smaller than 40. 4 is smaller than 58. So it's going to be 4. It's not going to be 12. We already found our answer. The answer is going to be 4. And let's get straight into this third one. So we know that 21 is not going to be smaller than 45. So we know it's not 25. No, I mean 21. Yes, we do. I'm sorry. Because 21 is smaller than 45. Remember. We know that 40 it's smaller than 45, and we know that it's smaller than 32. So okay, we're on to the next one, and we know that it's smaller than, so we already have a number that's smaller than these two numbers. So it's not going to be this number or this number, because the 21 is already greater than the 45 and 32. And but it's not greater than 11. I mean, it is greater than 11. It's greater than 11. 11 is not greater than 21, so it's not going to be 21. And 11 is greater than 11 is greater, I mean, 11 is less than 20. 11 is less than 20. So we know it's not going to be 20, because let's say 20 is already greater than a number. And 11 is going to be our answer for the third row. And for our fourth row, we have 31, 42, 52, and 62, and 44. So we know that 31 is going to be smaller than 42. So let's cross that out. It's going to be smaller than 52. It's going to be smaller than 62. And it's going to be smaller than 44. So we know our answer is going to be 31. And for our fifth row, we have 26, 39, 12, and 9, and 5. So we know that 26 is going to be smaller than 39, so we need to take off 39, and we need to take off, we know that it's not going to be greater than 12, so we know that 26 is not going to be it. I mean, we know that 26 is greater than 12, so we know that 26 is not going to be the answer, because we want the smallest number. We want the smallest number. So we have 12, and we know that 12 is greater than 9, so it's not going to be that. And we know that 9 is not greater than 5. So we know 9 is not going to be an answer, because we already have a number that's bigger than the number 9. I mean, that's smaller than the number 9. So we know that 5 is smaller than number 9, and we got our answer. 5 is the smallest number for our fifth row. So our winners are, for the first row, we have 3 over here. We have 3. And for our second row, we have 4 over here. We have 4 over here. And for our third row, we have, let me do this smaller. Let me do these smaller. It's going to be 3. For 2, it's going to be 4, actually, not 5. It's going to be 4. And for 3, it's going to be, what's the smallest number in row 3? We know it's 11. So, and for 4, it's going to be 31. 31 is the smallest. And for 5, for row 5, it's 5. So these are our winners. These are our winners in the first encircling of the smallest numbers. So we have our champion, and for our champion, for our next one, not the champion, for our next one, we want to encircle the greatest number. We want to encircle the greatest number. Okay, now let's do that. So we not the smallest, so don't get tricked. You have to actually read it, and you have to be aware. So we know that 31 is bigger than 26, and we already know something is bigger than so we want to find the biggest number, and the way to do that is act smart. And so how do you act smart? So we know that 26 is less than 31, and 31 is bigger than 26. Well, we know that 26 is not going to be the answer, because 31 is already there's a number bigger than 26. So we know it's not that. We want to find the greatest number, and we know that 31 is going to be smaller than 50. So we're gonna cross this out, and we know that 50. Okay, now our 50 is our contestant right now. 50 is what we're going to compare with. And no, 50 is not a contestant, I'm sorry. And 42, we have 42, and we know that 42 is smaller than 50, so 50 is going to be greater than it, and that's what we want. to win for the first row. And for number 12, and then for number 50 versus 12, we know that 12 is going to be smaller than 50. I mean, yeah, 12 is going to be smaller than 50. So we're going to cross the 12 at, and our answer for our first row is 50. Our champion, or our answer, is 50 for our first row. And okay, for the second row, we'll look at these five numbers and determine which is the greatest number. So let's do that. We know that 15 is smaller than 17. So let's cross 15 out. And we know that 32 is greater than 17. So let's cross that out because 17 is smaller than a number and it's not the greatest. And we already have a number that's greater than 17. And we know that 32 is 32 is greater than 21. We know that 32 is greater than 21. So we're going to cross 21 out because we already have a number that's bigger than 21. And 32 versus 41, 41 is going to win because we know that 41 is greater than 32 and 32 is less. Let me do this in a different color now. So 41 is our answer. First row 2. And for row 3, we know that 36 is greater than 6, so we're going to cross this out. And we know that 36 is greater than 7, so we're going to cross this out. And because we know that there's something greater than both of these numbers. And we know that 10 is smaller than 36, so it's not going to be that because it's already smaller than a number, not greater than that number. And we know that 3 is smaller than 36. So our champion for row 3 is going to be 36. 36. 36. 36. And for row 4, for our encircling the greatest number championship, is we have 5 numbers, and let's do those 5 numbers. And we know that 49 is greater than 32. It's not going to be 32 then. And we know that 49 is greater than 22, so it's not going to be 22. And we know that 49 is greater than 19, so it's not going to be 19. And we know that it's greater than 5, so it's going to be we know that it's going to be 49 because it's greater than all of these 4 numbers that it was competing against. So it's going to be 49. 49. And let's use another color here. And we have 8 over here, and we know that 8 is smaller than 14, so it's not going to be 8. And we know that 14 is smaller than 39, so it's not going to be 39 because we already found a number that's greater than that number, not greater than 14. And we know that 39 is bigger than 21, so it's not going to be 21. And we know that 39 is bigger than 36, so it's going to be 39. The answer, or the champion of row 5, is going to be 39. Thank you for watching. See you next time.